Welcome to the Daily Business Tips Podcast, your source for lead generation, sales techniques, keeping your customers happy, tips for increasing profit, and productivity hacks. Learn new strategies that you can start implementing in your business today. Please welcome your host, Fewtrell.
G'day and welcome to DBT number 24. Once again, thank you for joining me for the DBT podcast. Really enjoy bringing you these daily business tips, and hopefully you're enjoying seeing them, watching or listening to them, or implementing them into your business, because that's what it's all about. Today we're going to talk a little bit about acquisition costs, which has to do with marketing and how much you pay for a lead versus a sale, and how to go about reducing those costs, tracking it, etc. Before I do that, I do want to thank today's sponsor. Today's tip is brought to you by Bartercard. Good guys over there at Bartercard. Thanks for supporting the DBT podcast. All right, so today we're going to talk about acquisition costs. And I think the first thing is to understand what that actually means, and that is to know the cost of a lead or a client. And I want you to think about it like this. If I said to you, I could give you as many new customers as you want, you just have to pay me for them, how much would you be prepared to invest for each individual customer that I gave you? And that really starts to give you an idea of what your acquisition cost could be. So for an example, let's say that your average dollar sale and lifetime value of a customer is $1,000. Well, you probably wouldn't want to pay me more than $100 or $200 to get that customer, unless you could somehow increase that lifetime value. Sometimes you'd spend $1,000 to get a $1,000 customer, or a $1,000 sale, if you knew that you'd get more sales that would increase the lifetime value. But of course, what you've got to consider is how much do I want to pay per lead or per client, and this is where we start working out what's called our acquisition cost. So for example, let's say we run an ad, a campaign. It could be any type of campaign, online, offline, papers, radio, AdWords, I don't care what it is. Let's say we run a campaign and we invest $1,000, and for that $1,000, we get 10 leads. Well, to work out our acquisition cost, we just divide the 1,000 by 10. That gives us $100 per lead. That's our acquisition cost per lead. Now, let's say that I get out of those 10 leads, I convert 1 in 10. My conversion rate is 10%. And then my acquisition cost per customer is $1,000. Now, knowing these numbers is really important, because too many people are doing marketing that doesn't work. And I think you've probably heard that saying. If not, there was a saying by a very famous entrepreneur called John Wanamaker. And he said that half my marketing doesn't work. I just don't know which half, which is a damn shame, because marketing is a science. And today in 2016 and beyond, testing and measuring our marketing results is so easy. I just don't understand why more people aren't doing it. So here's the thing to do is you want to know, what is my acquisition cost per lead? What is my acquisition cost per customer? Because now we can start to work on strategies to reduce each of those numbers. And here's the good thing. A lot of people, when they want to grow their business or their customer base, will invest a stack of money in marketing when all you need to do is increase your conversion rate, which costs a lot less and is a lot simpler. So, in that example I gave you of having 10 leads come in and only convert 1 into a customer, by converting 2 of those 10 leads into customers, I would have halved my acquisition cost from $1,000 to $500. So I'll give you the example again. We had $1,000 we spent on a campaign. We got 10 inquiries. That's $100 per inquiry. And we said we converted 1 in 10% of those inquiries into a sale, which meant our acquisition cost for a customer was $1,000. So if we increased our conversion rate, let's say we put in a guarantee or a sales process, we develop some sales scripts, maybe just some sales training for the team, maybe better offers, products, services, become more competitive, added value, whatever it might be. There's a stack of strategies you could do that are cheap to do that have a huge impact. So let's say we put a few of those strategies in place and we were able now to convert 2 out of 10 of our leads into a customer. So let's go back to that example. We got 10 leads in. We spent $1,000 on the campaign. It's still $100 per lead. However, now I'm getting 2 customers. So for that $1,000, my 2 customers, it's $500 per customer. So I've literally halved my acquisition cost per customer. So pretty effective when you start to think about it like that. And I think it's just a shame that most people don't test and measure. And the saying I love, which is that you can't manage what you don't measure, it just rings so true when it comes to marketing. And there's no need for you to waste money on marketing that doesn't work. Sure, you might test some things that don't work, and then then you'll stop doing them. But there's no reason why you can't test everything that you're doing and invest in the things that are working well for you and stop doing the things that aren't. Now, how can you reduce your acquisition cost per lead? Once again, that's about better marketing, stronger headlines, better offers. So, I would maximize the conversion rate and then maximize the number of leads I got for the same investment. So that $1,000 campaign, instead of getting 10 leads, if you can work out how to make that 11 or 12, 15, 20 leads, then of course it's going to have the same effect. It's going to reduce your acquisition cost. And this is key to being successful with any marketing, is to constantly be looking at how can I reduce my acquisition costs so I can get more bang for my buck. And then, it goes back to that question, how much am I prepared to pay for a customer? Well, that number should keep coming down. And as you budget for that, remember, everything you save, by the way, in this marketing stuff ends up going on your bottom line and in your back pocket. So, the more you can save, the more effective you can be with your marketing, the better off you're going to be. So that's it for today's tip. I have got my tip, sorry, not my tip, my quote for the day, which I'll finish off with, which I always do, and that is, if you're not taking care of your customer, your competitor will. That was by Bob Huey. Thanks for that tip, Bob. So true. If you're not taking care of your customers, your competitors will. Until next time, have a profitable day.